rebuild yourself from zero, there's a version of your life you are currently tolerating, a ceiling of achievement you have silently accepted, a level of dissatisfaction you have learned to medicate with distraction, with excuse-making, with the comfortable story of someday. That version is dying. The pain of staying the same is now greater than your fear of the unknown. This is not an accident. This is your signal. Your old identity is one built on approval, on comfort, on playing it safe as a cage. And the door is open, but you must walk out. This book is the process of that walk. It is the manual for the demolition of your former self and the step-by-step construction of the person you were meant to become. From this moment forward, you have one job. Stop preserving the ghost. Stop protecting the past version of you that has already served its purpose. Listen closely. The old you is over. Chapter 1. Stop collecting information and start taking action. Silence your phone. Stop the other tabs. For the next 10 minutes, there is only this voice and the single, brutal truth you have been running from. You are drowning in knowledge and starving for experience. You have bookmarked articles you will never read. You have purchased courses you will never finish. You have podcasts stacked in a queue that is nothing but a graveyard of good intentions. You have mistaken the menu for the meal, the map for the journey, the blueprint for the building. And you feel smart. You feel informed. You feel like you're making progress. But it's a ghost, a phantom limb of productivity, because you have no scars to show for it, no real-world data, no tangible result that exists outside the confines of your own mind. This is the paralysis of preparation, and it is the most seductive, high-class form of procrastination ever invented. You tell yourself you need one more book, one more certification, one more podcast episode to truly get it. But getting it is not the point. Doing it is the point. The learning is in the doing. The understanding comes from the friction, the feedback, the failure that only exists in the real world, not in the safe, sterile pages of a theory. Think of the writer who spends years studying plot structure, character arcs, the hero's journey, but never writes a single page of their novel. They are a librarian of writing, not a writer. They are curating information about a craft they are not practicing. Think of the entrepreneur who is perpetually in research mode, analyzing markets, designing the perfect logo, tweaking a business plan that will never face a customer. They are a strategist of a battle they will never fight. They are collecting data, not creating destiny. And you are doing the same right now. In some area of your life that matters to you, you have confused consumption with creation. You have swapped learning for doing. And in that swap, you have mortgaged your potential for the temporary comfort of feeling ready. You will never feel ready. Let me say that again, because your mind is already rejecting it. You will never feel ready. Readiness is a fairy tale you tell yourself to justify the pause. The real starting line is not a feeling. It's a decision, a brutal, messy, inconvenient decision to step into the arena before you have your armor fully buckled. Because here is the truth you've been avoiding. You are not a library. A library is passive. It stores. It archives. It preserves knowledge in a quiet, dust-covered stasis. Is that you? A repository of potential, sitting on a shelf, waiting for someone else to check you out, to give you permission to be used? No, you are a laboratory. A laboratory is active. It tests. It hypothesizes. It mixes elements, knowing some combinations will fizzle and some will explode. A laboratory exists for one purpose, to run experiments and observe the results. It is not afraid of data, even bad data, because all data is progress. A failed experiment is not a failure. It is a discovery. That doesn't work is valuable information. So why are you living like a librarian? Why are you prioritizing collection over experimentation? The key is in the loop, the action feedback loop. You believe the old, broken formula. Learn, greater than feel ready, greater than act. You think you must figure out who you are, acquire all the skills, and then, with perfect confidence, take action. This is backwards. This is a trap that keeps you paralyzed. The real, living, breathing formula is this: act, greater than get feedback, greater than learn, greater than adapt, greater than act again. You don't figure out who you are and then act. You act, and through that action, you discover who you are. Your courage, your resilience, your creativity, your true capacity. These are not revealed in contemplation. They are forged in motion. The writer discovers their voice by writing terrible first drafts, not by reading about writing. The speaker finds their power by choking on stage, not by watching TED Talks. The entrepreneur learns their market by making a terrible offer to a real customer, not by analyzing spreadsheets. The arena is the only teacher that matters. Everything else is just hearsay. So what is your laboratory experiment for today? Not for someday, not for when the plan is perfect. For today. It is not writing a book. It is writing one paragraph. It is not launching a business. It is making one sale. It is not getting in shape. It is doing 10 push-ups right now on the floor. Stop collecting data and start running experiments. Your life is not a thesis to be defended. It is a series of experiments to be conducted. Every morning, you must ask yourself the only question that matters: what is my experiment today? What small, tangible, actionable step will I take that will generate real-world feedback? Because feedback is the nutrient of growth. Without it, you are a plant in a dark room, slowly dying while thinking you're just resting. You have a choice. You have always had a choice. You can continue to be a librarian of your own potential, curating a perfect collection of reasons why you're not yet ready. Or you can become a laboratory, embracing the beautiful, chaotic, essential process of trial, error, and result. The identity of the person you want to be: the confident one, the capable one, the one who gets things done is not built by thinking. It is built by doing. One experiment at a time, one result at a time, one piece of real feedback at a time. You are not a library. You are a laboratory. So close the book, shut down the course, mute the guru. And go run your first experiment. The data is waiting. You've taken the first step out of the stands and into the arena. But the mind will immediately throw up its next line of defense: the need for the perfect conditions. Let's dismantle it. Chapter 2. The lie of when I feel ready. You decided to act, to run the experiment, to step into the laboratory. And now, the ghost appears. It's a whisper in your ear, a cold feeling in your stomach. It's the voice that says, not yet. I'll start when I feel more confident. I'll launch when the product is perfect. I'll speak up when I have all the answers. I'll apply for the job when I meet every single qualification. I'll have the conversation when I know exactly what to say. This is the lie of readiness, and it is the most effective sabotage mechanism your mind possesses. It dresses itself up as wisdom, as prudence, as being responsible, but strip away the costume, and you will see its true face: fear, naked, primal fear of judgment, of failure, of the unknown. It is not a guardian. It is a jailer. Let me be unambiguous. You will never feel 100% ready. Not for the big things, not for the things that truly matter, that will change the trajectory of your life. That feeling of total preparedness, of serene confidence before the leap pit, is a myth. A fiction sold to you by movies and stories that skip over the messy, trembling, human moments before the hero acts. Waiting for that feeling is a surrender. It is signing a contract with fear that says, I will only move when you give me permission. And fear never gives permission. Here is the fundamental reordering you must burn into your understanding. The feeling of readiness is not the prerequisite for action. It is the result of commitment. You do not feel ready and then start. You start, and in the starting, you become ready. Think of it like a cold pool. You stand at the edge, dipping a toe, shivering. The water feels like a shock. You think, I need to get used to the idea. I need to feel ready to jump. But you will stand there forever. The moment of perfect acclimation never comes. The only way to get used to it is to commit, to decide that the shock is temporary, but the swim is the goal. And you jump. The readiness, the acclimation, happens in the air and in the water, not on the edge. This is the anatomy of courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is not the fearless leap. That is stupidity or psychosis. True courage is the conscious, deliberate judgment that something else is more important than the fear. Your integrity is more important than the awkward conversation. Your dream is more important than the imperfect launch. Your voice is more important than the possibility of silence. Your growth is more important than your comfort. Courage is a decision, a calculation. You look at the fear, a tangible, vibrating thing, and you look at the cost of staying still, regret, the stagnation, the slow death, and you choose the fear because it is finite, because it is the price of admission. Real-world example, public speaking. You stand backstage, heart hammering against your ribs, palms slick. The voice says, "You're not ready." Your voice will crack. You'll forget your lines. They'll see you're a fraud. Readiness would mean that voice going silent, but it never does. Courage is hearing that voice, acknowledging its presence, and walking onto the stage anyway, because your message is more important than your nausea. Real-world example, asking for the sale. The product is good. The client could benefit, but the script isn't perfect. What if they say no? What if they ask a question you can't answer? Readiness would mean having a rebuttal for every possible objection. Courage is picking up the phone with a dry mouth and asking the question. Knowing no is a data point, not a death sentence. Real-world example, launching the product. It has a bug. The design isn't award-winning. A feature is missing. The lie says, one more week of polishing. But one more week becomes a month, becomes a grave for unrealized potential. Courage is hitting publish with your heart in your throat, knowing that real user feedback is worth 10,000 internal opinions. The trigger is not a feeling. The trigger is your hand. You are waiting for a green light that was installed in your own mind, and you are the only one with the switch. You keep looking for it outside, for a sign, for validation, for perfect conditions, but the switch is under your own palm. When I feel ready is a passive sentence. It makes you the victim of your own emotions, waiting for the winds of feeling to blow in your favor. You must change the grammar of your life to an active voice. I will make myself ready through action. I will become ready by engaging. I will calibrate my readiness in the field, not in the bunker. You do not become ready and then start. You start, and in the starting, you become ready. Every master was once a terrified beginner who started before they were ready. Every expert was once an amateur who embraced the cringe of early effort. They didn't have a magic confidence you lack. They had a decision you haven't yet made. The lie is persistent. It will come back tomorrow. It will meet you at the edge of every new experiment. Your job is not to silence it forever. Your job is to recognize its voice, label it, there's the lie, and then move your feet. Take the action. Make the call. Write the sentence. Send the email. Commit first. Feel ready later. The confidence you seek is on the other side of the action you're avoiding. The readiness is earned in the arena, not in the waiting room. So, what are you waiting for? The perfect moment? It doesn't exist. The absence of fear? It's a fairy tale. The only thing that exists is this moment. Your hand on the trigger. Pull it. You've pulled the trigger. You've started before you felt ready. Now, a dangerous fork in the road appears. One path builds, the other endlessly digs. You must know the difference. Chapter 3, Execute or Excavate. You are one or the other. You've started. You're moving. You're in the laboratory, running experiments before you feel ready. Now, the mind unveils its next, more sophisticated trap. It's no longer about whether to act. It's about what kind of action you will take. It presents you with a fork in the road, and it will dress one path in the robes of profundity, of depth, of necessary work. One path is called excavation, the other is called execution, and you must choose right now, because you cannot walk both. They lead in opposite directions. The excavator's trap is the belief that you must fully understand the root of every problem before you can solve it, that you must dig to the very core of every past trauma, every limiting belief, every childhood wound, and hold it up to the light, and then, only then, can you begin to build a new life. This is a seductive lie. It turns self-awareness from a tool into a hobby. It makes introspection an end in itself. The excavator is always digging. They have a PhD in their own pain. They can tell you the origin story of every flaw, the biography of every fear. Their identity becomes the excavation site. I am this way because of X. I can't do Y because of Z. The past becomes a reason, and then a cage. They confuse understanding with change. They believe that if they just dig deep enough, the answer will reveal itself, and they will be magically healed. Therapy, journaling, reflection, these are powerful, essential tools. But a tool is for building. An excavator uses these tools not to lay a foundation, but to make the hole deeper. They use insight as a bunker to hide in, not a blueprint to build from. They are an archaeologist of their own misery, carefully brushing the dust off reasons why they cannot move forward. Contrast this with the executor's path. The executor understands the past. They may have the same map of wounds, the same list of reasons. The difference is in the relationship to that map. The executor does not live in the excavation site. They visit it. They take measurements. They know where the ground is unstable. They acknowledge, this is what happened. This is the shape of the hole. And then they use that understanding as a blueprint to know where to pour the concrete, to know where to build the support beams. The executor is defined not by what they have dug up, but by the next brick they lay. They trade the shovel for a hammer. Real-world example, to people with similar childhoods, absent parents, a lack of support, a message that they weren't enough. The excavator spends their life in conversation about that lack. Their story is coherent, deep, and tragically consistent. They can tell you exactly how it shaped them. Their art, their relationships, their career struggles are all curated evidence of the excavation. The hole is their home. They decorate it. They say, see, this is why I am the way I am. And they are right. And they are stuck. The executor knows the same story. They feel the same ache, but they make a different calculation. They say, that happened. It hurt. It created a void in me. Therefore, I will become my own source of support. I will build the stability I never had. I will use this hunger as fuel to create what was missing. They don't deny the whole. They build a structure over it. Their identity is not the person who was neglected, but the person who built a fortress of their own making. One is digging, the other is building. Are you building or are you digging? This is the critical question you must ask yourself every single day, every hour. When you sit down to work, to plan, to think, am I excavating or am I executing? Are you journaling to clarify your thoughts for action, or are you journaling to avoid the action? Are you talking to your therapist to develop strategies for living, or are you talking to validate why you cannot live differently? Are you analyzing your mistakes to learn a lesson for the next attempt, or are you analyzing to punish yourself and justify quitting? Excavation feels like work. It feels deep. It can be emotionally exhausting, which makes you feel like you've done something. But at the end of the day, you're just standing in a deeper hole. With a better understanding of the dirt walls that surround you, execution feels different. It's often messy. It's less about profound revelation and more about mundane effort. It's laying the brick, making the call, sending the draft. It's putting something new into the world that wasn't there before. It's creation, not just analysis. You cannot live in a hole and call it a house. The trap is believing that perfect understanding leads to perfect action. It doesn't. It leads to paralysis by analysis. You don't need to know every why to start working on the how. In fact, you often discover the true why only after you've engaged with the how. Your past is not a verdict. It is data. Your trauma is not an identity. It is terrain. Acknowledge it. Honor its truth. Then ask the only question that moves you forward. Given this terrain, what will I build here? At some point, The shovel must be traded for a hammer. Your hands were not made only for digging. They were made for shaping, for assembling, for creating. You have spent enough time in the dark, damp earth of your own history. It's time to come up to the surface. It's time to feel the sun on your skin and the weight of a new tool in your grip. Stop curating your pain. Start constructing your future. The blueprint is clear. The materials are waiting. The choice of tool is yours. Digger or builder, excavator or executor. Choose. You've chosen to build, to execute. But the world will present you with a bill for this choice. A cost hidden in the shadows of the status quo. You must see it to pay it. Chapter 4. The brutal math of invisible costs you've decided to build, to execute, to trade the shovel for a hammer. Now, you will feel the price. Not the price of action you expect that. The sweat, the fear, the effort. You're prepared for that invoice. No. You must now understand the far more sinister bill you have been paying all along. The one that arrives silently, deducted automatically from an account you rarely check, the account of your future self. This is the brutal math of invisible costs. You operate under a fundamental, life-crippling misconception. You believe that inaction is free. That's staying the same, maintaining the status quo, choosing comfort. That this is a neutral act, a zero-sum game. This is the most dangerous lie you tell yourself. Every day you don't change. You don't pay zero. You pay, and you pay dearly. You pay in a currency far more valuable than money, potential, vitality, and time. The price of the status quo is the most expensive subscription on earth. And you've been signed up for it on auto-renewal since the day you chose comfort over courage. Think of it like a financial debt with a vicious interest rate. Only instead of dollars, the principal is your unlived life. And the interest compounds daily. Regret compounds. Resentment compounds. Weakness compounds. The you could have been gets farther away, and the pathway to them grows more overgrown, more daunting. You are not standing still. You are sliding backwards into a quieter, smaller, more manageable version of a life you never wanted. You pay with compounding regret, that dull, persistent ache that lives behind your sternum. The ghost of the path not taken. It whispers in moments of silence. What if? It doesn't shout. It erodes. It sands down your edges until you become smooth, harmless, and full of quiet sorrow. You pay with atrophied potential. Confidence is a muscle. Courage is a muscle. The muscle of your creative will. It must be used or it withers. Every time you choose the safe opinion, the silent room, the unpursued idea, that muscle gets weaker. Soon, you cannot lift the weight of your own ambition. You look at a challenge and your spirit, not your body, says, I can't. That's not truth. That's atrophy. You pay with the quiet resentment of a life unlived. This is the most toxic payment. It turns inward, poisoning your joy in other people's success. It leaks outward as cynicism, as criticism of those who dare. As the bitter punchline to a joke about dreaming big, you become a museum guard for empty rooms, resentful of the visitors who want to see exhibits you never built. This is the bill, and you are signing for it every morning you hit snooze on your own revolution. You must learn to quantify the unseen. The real cost isn't just the dream abandoned. It's the cascade of secondary losses that dream contained. It's not just I didn't start the business. It's the resilience you didn't develop by facing rejection. It's the problem-solving intelligence you didn't forge in the fire of real stakes. It's the person of substance, grit, and hard-won wisdom you didn't become. It's not just I stayed in the relationship. It's the self-respect you slowly bargained away. It's the model of settled compromise you showed your children. It's the blueprint for mediocrity you endorsed with your silent endurance. Real-world example. The safe job, the one that pays the bills but drains your soul, hour by hour, year by year. You think the cost is just the commute, the annoying boss, the tedious tasks. You are blind to the true invoice. The cost is the 20 years of vitality siphoned away, leaving you a competent, tired ghost at 50. The cost is the entrepreneurial spark that died from lack of oxygen. The artist that never learned to trust their own voice. The cost is the alternative reality where you struggle, maybe failed, but grew roots so deep into your own capabilities that no storm could shake you. That reality was traded for a predictable paycheck. That was the transaction. And you made it every single day you chose not to leave. You are paying for your current life with the currency of your future self. Every compromise, every delay, every someday is a withdrawal from their account. You are spending their confidence, their strength, their freedom, so you can have a slightly easier today. And the interest is crippling. The interest is the added weight of more years, more responsibilities, more ingrained habits that make change seem impossible. It's the growing gap between the life you have and the life you feel you deserve. A gap filled with the compound interest of regret. So you must ask yourself, with ruthless honesty, the single most important accounting question of your life: what is your comfort costing you? Not in vague terms, specifically quantify it. What is this comfortable relationship costing you in terms of your peace, your standards, your model of love? What is this comfortable job costing you in terms of your growth, your impact, your sense of purpose? What is this comfortable routine costing you in terms of your health, your energy, your sense of being truly alive? Name the price. Write it down. See the math. Because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The safe option reveals itself as the most reckless gamble of all. A bet that you can mortgage your future potential and never have to repay the loan. The pain of change has a limit. You can face it, move through it, and be done with it. The pain of the status quo is infinite. It compounds until the end of your days. The bill is in your hand. You can keep paying it with a life you haven't lived yet, or you can stop the automatic payments. Today. Choose your pain. One has an end. The other is a life sentence. You've seen the true cost of inaction. The bill is too high. Now, you must begin the construction project of a lifetime, building a new identity. It starts not with a declaration, but with a daily ritual. Chapter 5. Build your new identity. One ritual at a time. You've seen the cost. The brutal math is clear. The price of the old you is bankruptcy for the future you. So you decide, that's it. I change. Today, I become a new person. You declare it. You feel the surge. You are a writer, an entrepreneur, a disciplined athlete, a person of action. And then Monday happens. A bad night's sleep, an unexpected email, a wave of the old feeling, and the declaration shatters like glass against the hard surface of your old habits. The surge fades, and you're left with the ghost of a promise and the familiar shame of not being who you said you'd be. This is the failure of declaration. You tried to leap from the old identity to the new one in a single bound, over a canyon of ingrained behavior. You cannot make that leap. You must build a bridge, and that bridge is built not from declarations, but from daily rituals. Here is the foundational law you must brand into your understanding. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Your goals are the destination. Your systems are the vehicle. You can have a map to Paris, but if you're sitting in a broken down car in the driveway, you're going nowhere. Your daily rituals, your non-negotiables, your automated behaviors, that is your vehicle. That is what carries you. Identity is not something you declare. It is something you forge. In the fire of daily repetition, saying I am a writer while watching Netflix is a fantasy. Saying I am a writer while writing one paragraph every single day, rain or shine, inspired or empty, that is an identity under construction. The daily page is the proof. The business card is a souvenir. Saying I am disciplined while skipping the gym is a lie. Saying I am disciplined while doing 10 minutes of movement every morning, without debate, that is the discipline itself in action. The action is the identity. You are your repeated actions. Nothing more, nothing less. Everything else, your intentions, your visions, your affirmations, is commentary. The action is the text. You are not what you think or feel or hope. You are what you do, consistently, relentlessly, especially when you don't feel like it. This is why we must embrace rituals over resolutions. Resolutions are giant, brittle boulders you try to push up a hill. I will write a novel this year. The weight is immense. The first stumble, and the boulder crushes you. Rituals are small, smooth stones you lay every day. I will write from 6 a.m. to 6:15 a.m. The commitment is tiny. The power is in the accumulation. You are not building a boulder. You are building a path, one stone at a time. This is the power of micro-commitments. The 5-minute rule. Don't commit to a 2-hour workout. Commit to putting on your shoes and stepping out the door for 5 minutes. The magic is this: action generates momentum. Starting is the only battle. The 5 minutes often becomes 20. But even if it doesn't, you won. You placed a stone. You voted for your new self. Your rituals are your votes. Making your bed is a vote for order. The morning page is a vote for clarity. The evening review of 3 wins is a vote for progress. The scheduled hour of deep work is a vote for focus. The 10 minutes of meditation is a vote for peace. Each ritual, no matter how small, is a ballot cast in the election for who am I. Every day, you are voting, and the candidate with the most votes wins. Are you voting for the old, comfortable, distracted you? Or are you voting for the new, disciplined, purposeful you? Your rituals are the campaign, and you are the only voter. Your calendar is your creed. Your schedule is your scripture. Don't tell me what you believe. Show me your calendar. Show me where you have sacred, non-negotiable time blocked for the person you claim to be. If you believe you are a healthy person, your calendar will have sacred time for movement and meal prep. If you believe you are a learner, your calendar will have sacred time for reading and study. If you believe you are a builder, your calendar will have sacred, untouchable hours for creation. What you schedule is what you sanctify. What you consistently defend from the chaos of the world is what you truly worship. An unfocused, reactive calendar is a creed of chaos. It says, I believe in the whims of others. I worship the urgent over the important. A deliberate, ritual-driven calendar is a creed of self-authorship. It says, I am the architect of my days. This time is holy ground for the construction of my future. You must move from hoping to becoming to scheduling to becoming. What you do consistently is who you are. Everything else is a fantasy. So start small, painfully small, embarrassingly small, but start consistent. The writer writes 1 sentence. The athlete does 1 push-up. The reader reads 1 page. Do not negotiate with yourself. The ritual is not up for debate. It is not contingent on mood, weather, or inspiration. It is a fact of your day, like brushing your teeth. You don't feel like brushing your teeth some days, but you do it anyway because your identity includes a person with clean teeth. Your new rituals must attain the same level of autonomic behavior. You are building your new identity, 1 ritual at a time, brick by brick, day by day, vote by vote. Stop declaring. Start doing. 1 tiny, repeated, sacred thing. That is how a new person is built. Not in a moment of inspiration, but in the 1,000 moments of repetition that follow. Your future self is waiting at the end of the bridge you are building, 1 daily plank at a time. Keep laying them. You've begun your rituals. You're laying the bricks of your new self. But a storm is coming the environment you live in. It can wash away all your work in an instant. You must fortify your foundation. Chapter 6. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. You have your rituals. You're laying your bricks. You're voting for your new self. Now, imagine trying to build a house in a hurricane. That is what you are doing if you ignore your environment. You believe your willpower is the engine of change. You grit your teeth, summon your discipline, and try to force your new behaviors against the tide of everything surrounding you. This is a war of attrition you are destined to lose every single time because willpower is a finite resource. It is not a personality trait. It is a fuel tank, and every decision you make in a day drains that tank. What to wear, what to eat, how to respond to that email, whether to scroll or to work. By the time you need to summon the will to do your evening workout or write that page, the tank is empty. You are running on fumes, and you blame yourself. I'm just not disciplined enough. No, you are fighting physics. You are trying to swim upstream in a river flowing the other way. You are trying to be a non-smoker while living in a smoke-filled room and carrying a pack in your pocket. You cannot out-discipline a toxic environment. Your environment, the people, the places, the digital spaces, the physical clutter. The very air you breathe is not a backdrop. It is an active, relentless, shaping force. It is either an architect of your growth, meticulously designed to support the person you are becoming, or it is an accomplice in your stagnation, silently reinforcing the person you've been. Think of it this way. You are a seed. Your genetics, your will, your intention, that is the seed. But the soil, the sunlight, the water, that is the environment. You can have the finest oak seed in the world, but if you plant it in concrete, it will die. The environment determines what grows. Who you spend time with is the social soil you are planted in. Are they builders or excavators? Do they talk of dreams and action, or of complaints and limitations? Their language becomes the inner dialogue you absorb. The spaces you inhabit are your physical soil. Is your bedroom a sanctuary for rest or a cluttered den of distraction? Is your workspace designed for focus or littered with invitations to escape? Your digital world is your new, hyperpotent atmospheric pressure. What does your phone's home screen promote? What is the first thing you see? An endless scroll of curated comparison and outrage, or your to-do list and your meditation app? Every notification is a tiny tug on your sleeve, pulling you away from your blueprint. You must stop trying to be the diamond in the pile of mud. The mud will win. It will cling to you. It will obscure your light. It will make every single step a slog. Don't try to be a diamond in a pile of mud. Change the pile. This is not negativity. This is not blame. This is engineering. You are the chief engineer of your own ecosystem, and you must become ruthless. Engineering your ecosystem is the deliberate, systematic editing of your surroundings to make the right action the easiest action, and the wrong action difficult or impossible. You do not need more willpower. You need better design. Real-world example, the phone. You want to read more, but your willpower fails at 10 p.m. and you scroll. The engineering solution? Remove the social media apps from your phone. All of them. Delete them. Not just log out. Delete. Make the path of least resistance the Kindle app. A physical book on your nightstand. Make the wrong action scrolling require the effort of re-downloading and logging in. You are not fighting temptation. You are removing it from the battlefield. Real-world example, the kitchen. You want to eat better, but you come home tired and grab the chips. The engineering solution? On your day of ritual, you wash, chop, and box vegetables. You place them at eye level in the fridge. You throw out the junk food. You don't buy it. You make the healthy choice the only easy choice. You are not battling cravings. You are preempting them. Real-world example, your community. You feel stagnant, cynical. The engineering solution? You find one new community, a mastermind group, a class, a volunteer organization where the people are one step ahead of where you want to be. You join it. You listen. Their language, their standards, their belief in what's possible become your new normal. You are not trying to self-motivate. You are plugging into a different current. Your environment is the invisible hand shaping your behavior every second. It whispers through the clutter on your desk. Chaos is normal. It shouts through the negative friend's voice. Dreaming is foolish. It nudges you with the couch's comfort. Rest is the same as recovery. Or, if you engineer it, it can whisper through the clean desk. Clarity is here. It can shout through the ambitious friend's encouragement. Action is required. It can nudge you with the running shoes by the door. Movement is life. You cannot simply add positive rituals to a negative environment and expect to win. The environment gravity is stronger. Audit your life right now. Digital environment. Who do you follow? What notifications are on? What is on your home screen? Physical environment. What do you see when you wake up? What is on your counters? What does your workspace say? Social environment. Who do you give your time to? Who drains you? Who believes in the old you versus the new you? Then, edit. Ruthlessly, without sentiment. Unfollow, unsubscribe, delete, donate, rearrange, remove. Create friction for the behaviors of the old you. Eliminate friction for the behaviors of the new you. Stop fighting the mud. Change the pile. You are the gardener and the garden. Tend to your soil. The seed of your new self is waiting. Give it the environment to grow. You've engineered your environment. You've removed the mud. Now, you must accept the fundamental law of construction. Growth is never convenient. It is a deliberate disruption. Chapter 7. The mandatory inconvenience of growth. You have engineered your environment. You have cleared the mud. You have soil ready for planting. Now, you must accept the first law of cultivation. Growth is a disruption. It is not a gentle addition. It is not a seamless upgrade. It is a demolition and reconstruction happening within the same house. While you are still living in it, there will be dust. There will be noise. There will be moments when you have no kitchen, no shelter from the storm of your own becoming. If the process is comfortable, if it slides neatly into the grooves of your old life without a single snag, you are not growing. You are decorating. You are rearranging furniture in a prison cell. Real growth breaks walls. It pours new foundations at inconvenient hours. It requires you to live in a construction zone. The path of least resistance is not a path forward. It is a circle, a loop. It brings you back, day after day, to the same familiar viewpoints, the same petty frustrations, the same ceiling you've learned to call a sky. You must develop a new relationship with friction. The early wake-up, the difficult, vulnerable conversation you've been avoiding, the rejection of the proposal you poured your heart into, the aching muscles from a new form of movement, the confusion of learning a new skill, the silence after you've set a boundary. This friction is not the enemy. It is not a sign you're on the wrong path. It is the fee, the non-negotiable admission price for a new life. You do not get to bypass the toll booth. You must pay, in the currency of discomfort, to leave the old country and enter the new one. This is where most people abandon the blueprint. The first sign of real friction, they mistake it for a wrong turn. They believe growth should feel like inspiration, like a smooth acceleration onto an open highway. No, growth often feels like the grinding of gears as you force a vehicle meant for paved roads onto a rocky, uphill mountain path. It is supposed to be jarring. Your old suspension cannot handle this new terrain. You must build a new one. This requires a fundamental reframing of discomfort. You have two currencies of pain to choose from. Only two. 1. The pain of discipline. This pain is acute, specific, and finite. It is the burn in the gym, the fatigue of a long, focused work session, the awkwardness of a new social interaction, the sting of a rejected idea. This pain is clean. It has a beginning and an end. You feel it. You move through it. You are stronger on the other side. This pain is an investment. 2. The pain of regret. This pain is chronic, diffuse, and infinite. It is the dull ache of helplessness as you watch your health decline, the heavy cloak of resentment from a dream deferred, the quiet terror of financial desperation because you never built a margin, the hollow echo of what if that fills your quiet moments. This pain is a tax. It compounds forever. You are choosing one. Every single day. By action or by inaction, you are selecting your pain. Real-world example, money. The pain of discipline is the inconvenience of saving. It is packing a lunch, driving an older car, saying no to a lifestyle inflation purchase, spending in our budgeting on a Sunday night. It is specific, finite friction. The pain of regret is the terror of having no options. It is being trapped in a job you hate because you can't afford to leave. It is the sleepless night over a medical bill. It is the shame of depending on others in a crisis. It is the infinite, suffocating weight of financial fragility. You are either enduring the scheduled inconvenience of saving, or you are risking the catastrophic inconvenience of desperation. Choose your inconvenience. Your new life will not fit into your old schedule. The old schedule was built for maintenance, not construction. It has no blocks for learning, for creating, for deep recovery. Trying to squeeze in growth between the cracks of your old commitments is like trying to build a cathedral in a parking spot. You must demolish the old schedule. You must make inconvenience space. This means waking up before the world demands anything of you. It means turning off the television an hour earlier. It means protecting time that others will call selfish. Your new mind will not agree with your old friends. As you change, your tolerance for complaint, for gossip, for small-mindedness will shrink to zero. Conversations that once felt normal will now feel like a drain on your spirit. This is not you being judgmental. It is you outgrowing the habitat. The crab in the bucket will try to pull you back down, not out of malice, but out of instinct. It is their nature. You must have the courage to be inconvenient, to say, I can't do that anymore, to spend Friday night studying instead of drinking, to talk about ideas instead of people. This friction is a sign of growth, not a social failure. Convenience is the language of decay. It whispers, take the easy way. Stay where it's warm. Protect yourself at all costs, and that cost is your potential. Systems seek entropy. Order decays into disorder. Life, without conscious, inconvenient effort, trends toward comfort and stagnation. That is the default setting of the universe. Inconvenience is the dialect of growth. It is the conscious, forceful application of energy to create order from chaos, strength from weakness, a future from a past. It is the anti-entropy. It is the sound of life fighting back against decay. So, when you feel the friction, do not retreat. Lean in, name it. This is the fee. This is the toll. I am on the right path. The burn is the signal of strengthening muscle. The confusion is the signal of expanding mind. The awkwardness is the signal of expanding social capacity. The rejection is the signal that you are playing a real game, not a simulated one. Pay the fee. Embrace the mandatory inconvenience. Your upgraded life is waiting on the other side of the discomfort you are avoiding. Walk through it. You've embraced the friction. You're paying the fee. Now, you must confront the deepest source of resistance, the part of you that is still holding out an empty cup, begging the world to tell you you're enough. That ends now. Chapter 8. Become a merchant of reality, not a beggar for validation. You are paying the fee. You are embracing the inconvenience. You are in the arena. And now, the deepest, most insidious temptation will arise. The temptation to look to the stands, to check the scoreboard that is not there, to wait for the applause that may never come. You will create something, and the silence afterward will feel like condemnation. You will state a boundary, and the displeasure of others will feel like failure. You will take a stand, and the lack of universal agreement will feel like proof you're wrong. This is the moment you must choose your archetype, the merchant or the beggar. The validation economy is bankrupt. Seeking likes, praise, universal approval, and constant reassurance is a trap of the highest order. It is an economic system where the currency external validation is inherently unstable, inflationary, and controlled by others. You are trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation of crowd noise. It will not hold. When you outsource your self-worth, you make yourself a hostage to the moods, opinions, and attention spans of other people. You hand them the remote control to your inner state and wonder why you're constantly jerked between channels of anxiety and fleeting pride. This must end. Today. The goal is not to be admired. The goal is to be effective. Did the work move the needle? Did the action produce a result? Did the truth get spoken? Effectiveness is a metric you can measure. Admiration is a weather system you cannot control. The goal is not to be liked. The goal is to be respected, and this respect must start with the person in the mirror. Do you respect your own word, your own discipline, your own courage to be unpopular for the sake of what is right? Self-respect is a fortress. Being liked is a popularity contest you will inevitably lose. Because you cannot be everything to everyone. You must shift from being a consumer of validation to a producer of reality. This is the difference between a merchant and a beggar. The beggar holds out an empty cup. Their posture is one of lack, of need. They walk through the world hoping someone, anyone, will drop a coin of praise, a nod of approval, a lack of acknowledgement into their cup. Their worth is determined by the generosity of strangers. When the cup is full, they feel temporarily rich. When it is empty, they feel worthless. Their entire existence is a plea. Do you see me? Am I good enough? Tell me I matter. The merchant is different. The merchant does not hold out a cup. The merchant builds a stall. They create, craft, and refine a product, their work, their art, their leadership, their truth. They then offer it to the marketplace with quiet confidence. The product itself is the statement. Some will buy, some will browse and walk away, some will criticize the price. The merchant is not defined by any single transaction. Their worth is internal, embedded in the quality of their goods and the integrity of their trade. They are in the business of value exchange, not validation begging. Real-world example. The artist. The beggar artist creates for the crowd. They poll for what's popular. They tweak their message to be palatable. They refresh their notifications every 30 seconds after posting. Their mood soaring or crashing with each like and comment. Their art is a question. Do you like this? The merchant artist creates from conviction. They follow their own curiosity into the dark. They polish the work until it meets their own standard of truth. They release it because the act of creation is complete. The audience's reaction is data useful, interesting, but not definitive. Their art is a statement. This exists. You must ask yourself, am I holding out a cup? Or am I building a stall? Every time you hesitate to send in a mail because what will they think? Every time you dilute your true opinion to keep the peace. Every time you chase a trendy tactic instead of doing the foundational, unsexy work you know is right. You are holding out your cup. It is a poverty mindset. And it will keep you poor in confidence, poor in impact, poor in authentic connection. Stop holding out your cup. Build a well. A well is an internal source. It is dug deep into your own conviction, your own standards, your own proof of work. You draw from it. You nourish yourself first. The water is clear because it is not muddied by the opinions of others. Your approval must be an internal transaction, complete before anyone else arrives. You must approve of yourself. You must validate your own effort. You must look at the work and say, this meets my standard. You must look at the boundary and say, this is my line. You must look at the difficult truth you spoke and say, that needed to be said. The transaction is complete. The work is done. The value has been created within your own economy. You are already paid in the currency of self-respect. Then, and only then, you offer it to the world. The world's response to sales, the praise, the criticism, the silence is now just market feedback. It can inform your next iteration. It cannot invalidate the initial transaction. You are not a passive beggar on the street of other people's opinions. You are a merchant in the marketplace of reality. Your product is your effort, your integrity, your ship work. Your currency is your own self-respect. Trade from that strength. Build your stall with care. Offer your goods with clarity, and let the world respond as it will. Your cup is gone. You have a well. Drink deeply from it and get back to work. You have your well. You are trading in the currency of self-respect. Now, you must understand the daily mechanism of this trade, the non-negotiable contract between who you are today and who you will become. Chapter 9. Discipline is the debt you pay to your future self. You have built your well. You are a merchant, not a beggar. Your validation is an internal transaction. Now, you must understand the ledger, the silent, compounding ledger that exists between you in this moment, and the you that exists in all the moments to come. This is not philosophy. This is accounting. the most important accounting of your life. Every choice you make is a financial transaction in the bank of your potential. You are either making a deposit into the account of your future self, or you are making a withdrawal from it. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is not deprivation. Discipline is the debt you pay to your future self. It is a debt of freedom, of options, of strength, of peace. The person you want to be in 1 year, in 5 years, in 20 years, that person lives in a house of your making, and you are the construction worker, paid daily in the currency of present moment choices. Every time you choose the salad over the fast food, you are not just eating a salad. You are making a payment on the debt of health and vitality you owe to your 70-year-old self. Every time you save money instead of spending it on a momentary pleasure, you are not just saving money. You are making a payment on the debt of security and choice you owe to your future family. Every time you write the page, study the skill, have the hard conversation, you are paying down the debt of competence, confidence, and character. This is the contract with tomorrow. It is signed not with ink, but with action, or inaction. You have the options, and only two. 1. Suffer the pain of discipline now. This pain is acute, clean, and purposeful. It is the burn of effort, the pang of saying no, the friction of inconvenience too. Suffer the far greater pain of regret later. This pain is chronic, corrosive, and infinite. It is the ache of helplessness, the weight of if only, the terror of doors closed forever because you didn't build the strength to open them. You are choosing one. Right now, with this hour, with this decision, think of it as the most critical financial negotiation of your life. But the other party is the ghost of your future. They are silent, but their needs are immense. They need you to be strong for them. They need you to be wise for them. They need you to build a foundation they can stand upon. You are in a silent financial negotiation with your future self. And every time you choose discipline, you are depositing power into their account. You are depositing energy, resilience, capital, skill, and peace of mind. You are building their credit score in the world. And every time you choose comfort, you are withdrawing from their account. You are taking out a high-interest loan against their potential, their freedom, their peace. You are spending their resources on your present moment laziness. This is why consistency is not a personality trait. It is a financial strategy. This is the power of compound action. It's not about the massive, heroic effort once a month. That's a boom and bust cycle, a speculative gamble. It's about the 1% improvement, daily, the non-negotiable action that happens regardless of mood, weather, or inspiration. The daily learning session, even for 20 minutes, that compounds into expertise. The consistent health practice, even at 70% effort, that compounds into vitality. The financial discipline of saving, even a small amount, that compounds into freedom. The daily communication that builds a relationship, that compounds into unshakable trust. This is how you build wealth in any currency, not through windfalls, but through unwavering, boring, relentless deposits. You don't see the growth day to day, but look back after 500 deposits. After 1,000, the account is overflowing. The debt is paid. The future self is living in a mansion built by your daily bricks. Real-world example, the 5 a.m. wake-up. It's not about the single morning. It's about the 365 silent payments a year. Each one is a deposit of self-trust, of time capital, of demonstrated priority. After 5 years, that's over 1,825 deposits. The future self who emerges has bought themselves over 3,000 extra hours of focused life. A down payment on a masterpiece. Real-world example, the avoided argument. Choosing peace over being right. That's a deposit of emotional capital into the relationship account. Do it for a decade. The future self lives in a house of profound peace, built brick by boring brick of swallowed pride and chosen understanding. Stop thinking of discipline as a struggle against yourself. It is not. It is a gift to yourself, to the you that is coming. The you that will face a crisis and need resilience. The you that will see an opportunity and need skill. The you that will want to rest and need the financial means to do so. You are that person's guardian, their provider, their only source of capital. So when the alarm rings and you want to hit snooze, hear it as a call from the future. I need that please. Deposit it for me when the couch calls and the weights wait. Feel the tug from tomorrow. I need that strength, please. Build it for me when it's easier to spend. Or you know you should save. Hear the whisper from decades ahead. I need that security, please. Invest it for me. Make the deposit. Pay the debt. Honor the contract. Your future self is waiting at the bank, hoping with everything they have that you were a faithful financial negotiator today. Don't bankrupt them. Enrich them. One disciplined choice at a time. You have been making the deposits. You have been honoring the contract. Now, we arrive at the final, unifying equation, the one that ties every chapter, every choice, together into a single, undeniable law. Chapter 10. The person you become is the life you get. We have reached the final equation, the core algorithm, the one law that binds every lesson, every struggle, every moment of friction into a coherent, undeniable truth. For years, you have believed in a broken formula. You believed it was have, do, greater than be. You believed if you have the right resources, the right plan, the right breaks, then you could do the right actions. And then you would finally be the person you want to be, happy, successful, at peace, loved. This is backwards. This is the source of your striving and your emptiness. The true, unbreakable formula is the inverse. Be, do, greater than have. You must first be the person, in your mind, in your rituals, in your daily choices. Then, from that state of being, you will naturally do the things that person does. And from those actions, you will have the life that is a perfect match for that person. You do not get the life you want. Let that sink in. The life you fantasize about, the vision board, the dream, you do not get it by wanting. You do not get it by clever tactics or shortcuts. You get the life that is a perfect match for the person you have decided to be. The universe is a mirror, not a vending machine. You do not insert effort coins and receive dream prizes. You embody a character, and the world reflects back the scenery appropriate for that character's story. A disorganized person will never have an organized life, no matter what productivity app they buy. They will create chaos around any system. A person who sees themselves as a victim will never have a life of empowerment, no matter what opportunities arise. They will find the oppression in every scenario. A person who is not, at their core, a finisher will never have a portfolio of completed projects. They will have a graveyard of almost starts. To change your life, you must be different, not just do different things for a while. You must undergo a transformation of identity at the molecular level. The actions must flow from a new source. This is the great integration and embodiment. This chapter is not a new lesson. It is the lens that brings all the previous chapters into razor-sharp focus. Why did we start in the laboratory of action? Because you discover who you are by what you do. Why did we kill the lie of readiness? Because courage is an identity, not a feeling. Why did we trade the shovel for a hammer? Because you must build, not just excavate. Why did we audit the invisible costs? Because your current identity is bankrupting your future. Why did we build rituals? Because identity is forged in daily repetition. Why did we engineer our environment? Because it shapes the being you are becoming. Why did we embrace inconvenience? Because growth is the dialect of a new character. Why did we become merchants? Because self-validated worth is the bedrock of a sovereign identity. Why did we pay the debt of discipline? Because it is how you finance the construction of your future self. It was never about the goal. The goal was just the lighthouse. The real journey was the seaworthiness of the ship you had to build and become to sail the turbulent seas to reach it. The goal of being fit is not about the number on the scale. It is about becoming the kind of person who respects their body daily. The goal of a successful business is not about the revenue. It is about becoming the kind of person who solves valuable problems with consistency and integrity. The goal of a great relationship is not about finding the perfect partner. It is about becoming the kind of person who communicates with courage, loves with generosity, and chooses peace over pride. The target is not the trophy. The target is invisible. It is internal. The target is the person you have to become to hit the physical trophy. The discipline, the resilience, the compassion, the wisdom, the courage that is the target. The external win is just the echo, the proof that you hit the internal mark. If you focus on the trophy, you will cut corners. You will grow bitter. You will become obsessed with an object. If you focus on becoming the person worthy of it, the path itself becomes the reward, and the trophy often arrives as a surprise, a natural byproduct. Your life is not a pursuit of things, but a proof of character. What you have, the house, the relationship, the career, the bank account is simply proof, evidence, forensic data of the character you have embodied over time. It is the receipt for the person you have been. A life of chaos is proof of a scattered character. A life of quiet desperation is proof of an unwillingness to risk. A life of resilience and joy is proof of a courageous and grateful character. You are not chasing a life. You are broadcasting a signal with your every thought, word, and deed. And the world is tuning in, returning to you experiences that match your frequency. So stop asking, what should I do to get what I want? Start asking, who must I become to deserve the life I desire? And then become that person. Right now, in the mundane, in the invisible moments, become the writer by writing. Become the athlete by moving. Become the leader by taking responsibility. Become the partner by loving actively. Become the merchant by creating value. Become the builder by laying bricks. Do not wait for the life to arrive to feel like the person. Feel like the person and watch the life rearrange itself around your new gravity. Become, and the life will follow. This is the end of the blueprint. The demolition of the old is complete. The foundation of a new identity is poured. The tools are in your hands. The only thing left is the lifelong, daily, sacred practice of construction. You are no longer who you were. You are not yet who you will be. You are the builder in the space between. Now. Build. The blueprint is now in your hands. The demolition of the old is underway. You have felt the pain of the cage. You have seen the invisible costs. You understand that readiness is a lie, action is the truth, and discipline is the currency of your future. There are no more secrets, no more theories to collect. The only thing left is the decision, the brutal, beautiful, non-negotiable decision to become. Your environment is waiting for your edit. Your rituals are waiting for your commitment. Your new identity is waiting for your first proof, your first action that says, the old version is no longer here. This is the work, not for a week, but for a lifetime. Not until you get what you want, but until you become who you must be. So here is your final instruction, your direct order. When this ends, you will not simply go back to your life. You will go to the first thing, the smallest thing, the most inconvenient thing that represents the new you. And you will do it. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now, the door of the cage is open. The walk begins with a single, deliberate, uncompromising step. Walk, and